That's the first step. If you want to get good at sales, get good with your products and services, and get good at believing in yourself and your ability to communicate them.
If you're bad at sales, the truth is, hard truth, but it's true, you're bad at uncomfortable conversations. If you're bad at sales, you're just actually bad at uncomfortable conversations. You're bad at telling the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. Keep it down over there, please. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was 725. Is there a difference between self-belief and self-worth? Today, for episode number 726, we're going to talk about wealth, an easy way to get good at sales. This is Strategy Saturday.
So I was on the phone with a client recently, and she wants to grow her business, and we set her up with an unbelievable system of success. You've heard us talk about peak performance tracking many times. Peak performance tracking
just
system.
Slide back a little bit, man.
Slide back.
Yeah, what happens is you just keep leaning into the camera. It's like
I want to be close to the listeners. I want to be closer.
We are spiritually close.
Spiritually close. Okay, so we set her up with a system, and it's absolute fire. And I said the very simple words of like, okay, now imagine a version of you who, every other week jumped on the phone with me, and we strategized about how to make the system better. And every week you got a little bit better at implementing this system. 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. We're reading a book right now, Kevin and I. At least recently we both read it. And I'm actually still reading it. Algorithms to Live By. The sales cycle, the next level sales cycle, turning your connections into clients. How to get better at sales. It really is an algorithm. It's a formula. And it's just like a recipe. This is the best way to describe it. We do meal prep, and whenever you're cooking, if you're following a recipe, it's like, okay, step 1, add the chicken. Step 2, put the spices on. Step 3, preheat the oven to 450. Step 4, put it in for 20 minutes, that kind of thing. It's an algorithm. It's a recipe. It's a formula so that you can get the same result over and over and over again. It's taken Kevin and I a very long time to get to the point that we are right now. We've been in business for 5 years, and we're just now really tweaking the algorithm to really work, where our messaging and our brand and our services and our team and everything's aligned. This sales cycle will change your business if you do it. One of the things that I know for a fact, though, is that people struggle with sales more than anything else. Everybody knows when you start your own business, you have to make sales in order to survive. The number one goal of business is to stay in business. The number 2 goal of business is to grow your business over the long term, and it has to be in that order. If there's a hole in your ship, you have to plug that first. That is sales. So we're going to teach you a very simple framework, a very simple recipe to be successful. But if you don't implement these actual steps and get good at them, you will not be successful. I know.
Well, that was, well done.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. And that's it. So, and again, Alan and I want to make sure that we're giving ourselves credit, because we obviously want to be humble, and humility is important to us, but we also have a very successful business, and I think it's important for us to give ourselves credit for that.
Yeah.
I think it's always important. Every single one of our clients has come through this.
Yeah.
Every single dollar our business has made has come through this. We don't run ads in terms of like, you can't pay us to advertise your product on the podcast. That's not something we're interested in. Any affiliate things we've ever made has gone to Next Level Hope Foundation. So like every dollar this business has made has come through this sales cycle. It's just a matter of, are you willing to do it long enough, and are you willing to face your fears to get there? So I'll have you do it. You can hammer it in a second.
Okay.
Because you're looking at it, and you taught me this. Like, I learned this from you, so I want to make sure I give you credit.
Appreciate it.
Understand this. An easy way to get good at sales starts by you understanding the relationship you have with sales. Most people have a negative association with sales because they've been sold to in maybe a negative way in the past. So I told the story that I was a personal trainer, and when I signed up as a personal trainer, I had to sign a contract that said if I leave here before 1 year, I will pay $1,000. Out of my own pocket, I will pay $1,000 to get out of this contract. They tried to get me to do sales in what to me was a negative way, saying you're not going to be around in 10 years to see your grandkids if you don't sign up for these packages because you're overweight and you might die. Is that applicable applicable, my goodness, to some people, yes, but not this person. This person wasn't going to die if they didn't get the personal training things that we were selling them. I literally paid $1,000 to leave that job because I hated sales that much. I love sales now because all sales is to me is an exchange of value. That's all it is. And for you, if you believe in your product and service, it's the same thing. That's the first step. If you want to get good at sales, get good with your products and services, and get good at believing in yourself and your ability to communicate them.
You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your products and services. If I didn't believe, so I run Next Level Business Solutions. Kevin runs Next Level Podcast Solutions. We believe so deeply, more than we ever have, because we have a track record, we have evidence, we have a lot of clients succeeding. We believe so much in our product and service, but we also believe in ourselves. If I didn't believe in my own ability to get my clients results in both the short and the long term, what are the chances I'm going to sell it? So that's the first step. You have to believe. If you don't believe, you can't sell anything.
Boom.
Okay? Unless you're going to be fake, in which case just real belief is the play. Okay. There's 5 steps to the next level sales cycle. We'll go through them one by one, and this is a quick episode, so we're going to Strategy Saturday. Number 1, get exposure. One way or another, I remember one of our close friends said this one time. Every post on social media is like shooting a magnet up into the universe. And you're going to attract the types of people who value that type of thing. And I'll give you an example. You're at a wedding, and you start talking about your favorite book. One of my favorite fiction books is The Alchemist. I start talking about The Alchemist. Someone overhears that conversation. They are like, oh my God, I love The Alchemist. I can't wait to go and talk to him about that later. Imagine that, but in the digital world on social media. So if you love fitness, you probably have on your Instagram feed fitness people. If you love books, you probably have book people, that kind of thing. So get exposure. You got to post on your social media. You also have to get exposure by going to networking events or going to wherever your ideal client actually is. So step 1 is get exposure.
Get on podcasts. If you're an early entrepreneur, get on a podcast, and at the end of it, send them to your social media or talk about your product.
Absolutely. Number 2, make a connection. Okay, so get exposure is a lot like, I'm going to use a fishing analogy, is a lot like putting a certain type of bait on a hook and throwing it out into the water. That's exposure, okay? Making a connection is actually getting a bite, okay? Someone actually sees the worm and wants to go and eat the worm. So make a connection is basically engagement. So when you post something on social media, for example, I just posted that Emilia and I moved in together, bought our first home together, and then people engaged with it. People commented saying, congratulations. Okay, that's making a connection. Now, if I wanted any of those people and I saw them as an opportunity to potentially be a client, I can help them succeed, then I could have a meaningful conversation. Step 3. Step 1, get exposure. Step 2, make a connection. Step 3, have a meaningful conversation. Now, step 3, you can do on Zoom. You can do it over phone. You can do it via text or WhatsApp. You can do it via email. Whichever medium you want, but the key is it has to be a meaningful conversation. Say things that matter to people who care. 4th step. This is where I think most people are good at those first 3. Most people are good at getting exposure, making connection, and having a meaningful conversation. This is where it gets uncomfortable. When you're having a meaningful conversation, you need to find the right solution. So if Kevin is a podcaster who wants to learn sales and I do sales trainings, I have to say, oh, Kev, I didn't realize you were struggling with sales on your team. Let me come in and give you a sales training. I'll charge you $500, but I guarantee you're going to make $2,000 plus back a return on investment because I'm going to teach your whole team how to master this sales cycle. See, finding the right solution means you actually have to pitch. You have to actually say, like, listen, you need help with sales. That's the truth. I know you're uncomfortable. I apologize, but it's true. You need help with sales. I can help you with sales. And that comes from belief and sincerity and wanting to help people. Remember, if you can't sell your products and services, you can't help anyone. That's the key.
Hello. I'm Sarah Pringle, and I need to give the biggest shout out to Kevin Allen at Next Level University. These 2 men are the most incredible superheroes you will ever meet. They are changing the world, and they have the biggest heart and care so much. Kevin Allen, I can't thank you enough for how much you have poured into me and how much belief you've instilled in me. I've always had a dream of becoming a speaker. I never thought this was possible, and now I see so much of a future ahead of me. You guys, life is short and we only have one life. You have so much on your path. Please surround yourself with people that are going to support you and lift you higher. I say this with so much caring in my heart. Honestly, I recommend Kevin Allen to everyone to meet and to grow. And before I cry, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart.
Fifth and final step, follow-up/touch base. Imagine Kevin and I are on a call and I say, listen, I want to come and give a sales training. I know it'll help you double your business in the next, couple years if your people actually learned how to fish, if they learned sales. And he was like, okay, let me think about that and I'll get back to you. Let's say a couple weeks go by. He never got back to me. I touch base. I say, hey, Kev, how's it going, man? Just checking in. How's sales going in your business? Boom. And then that primes his reticular activating system to say, oh, honestly, I'm still never really mastered that sales thing. Let's have Alan in. So you have to, and then by the way, get exposure, make connection, have a meaningful conversation, find the right solution, follow up and touch base. It's a cycle. It's a snowball. You keep doing it over and over and over again. Kevin and I are talking to people who care about things that matter so that we can help them get to the next level of their life. Everything we do at Next Level U in our business, in the Next Level universe, is to help you get to the next level. This podcast, our coaching, group coaching, our online courses, Next Level Podcast Solutions, Next Level Web Solutions, every facet of our business is helping people get to the next level for money. Right now, you're paying with your attention. You're listening to us. And if you are part of the people out there who really want to get to the next level, some of you will be willing to come and make a connection with us, have a meaningful conversation with us, and then we will try to find a solution that fits your needs. And that's what every sales cycle is.
I love doing this with my clients. So, Alan, you know this. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I was at a client's house last weekend, if you're listening to this. And during that interview, because our client, Taryn, Dr. Taryn, our friend too, she interviewed me. And I said, I'm going to do this right now because she asked me about sales. How did we meet? How did this whole thing work where you went from somebody we met to a friend to a client? And it is this cycle. Gut exposure. Alan and I met Dr. Taryn McCarthy at an event in San Diego, California. We made a connection. We were in line together. We started talking. She said, oh, I do this. We said, we do this. Awesome.
She said she wanted to start a podcast.
She said she wanted to start a podcast. Later, we ended up reconnecting and we had a meaningful conversation. We talked about podcasting. I went over our process. I went over what we could add in terms of value. I helped her name her show, and we ended up not finding the right solution. On that call, we didn't find the right solution. And her and I didn't speak for months. We didn't talk for months. But she started tuning into our masterminds, which they were at the time.
Yep.
And
Every week. And her and I were talking more and more. One day, I did step number 5. I followed up and touched base. I just had an intuitive moment of, hey, I wonder how Dr. Taryn is doing. Sent her a message, said, hey, hope you're well. I was thinking of you. I know we haven't touched base in a long time. I hope everything is going well. And she said, I'm so happy you messaged me. I feel like this is the kick in the butt I need. I'm ready to start my podcast. Boom. That literally took a year and a half. That whole process was a year and a half. Did the same thing with several of my clients. It's one of those things of it doesn't happen overnight, and it stops working when you stop doing the cycle. It just is that way. One of the things that I've seen so often is people get 3 or 4 clients and they say, cool, now I'm good. I feel financially stable, and they stop doing this. And if you stop doing this, the clients stop coming. One of the reasons Alan and I have so many clients coming in right now that we're onboarding is because we never stopped doing the sales cycle. Just understand the sales cycle is really the impact and value cycle. We're impacting people, me particularly, by helping them with their podcasts, helping them make money with their shows. Alan is helping people impact by helping their businesses make more money and helping them unlock themselves so they're capable of making more money or having a better relationship. Understand sales is the word, but if you have a negative association with sales, switch it to something else. Switch it to relationship building cycle. Switch it to business building cycle, impact building cycle, whatever lands for you. I love sales now. I love the word. I love doing it because I know what on the back end it feels like. It's positive. People love when you help them. Last thing, we went over here, and I knew we would because I think this is something we both like. I was on... So I'll do the frame, okay? Somebody recommended somebody to me
to do a free call. So I got exposure to that person. I made a connection by sending a message back and said, hey, I'd love to hop on a free call. We had a meaningful conversation on Zoom, because Zoom is the way to go now, and we didn't find the right solution. Just it isn't really a fit right now for her budget. It's not what she wants. I followed up, and she told me, she said, hey, I want you to know that I appreciate the way you went about that call, because I assumed that was going to be a sales call. But I could tell that you were there to add value, and I'm really glad you told me about the products and services, because when I'm ready, I will take advantage of them. So if you're afraid of being too salesy, if you have that fear, you most likely won't be. It means you're way too far on one end.
Yeah.
And the reason I tell that story is because that's something I've really felt in the past, that I'm afraid to be too salesy. So her saying that to me just reassured me that what you're doing is right and the way you're doing it is right also. So understand that your business will grow if you do this. It might seem, oh, it's too simple, it's too good to be true. Try doing this for 3 months, every day. And it starts with getting exposure and making connections. Go on other podcasts, follow people. Everybody that follows you, you send them a message because there's your connection. Do this for 3 or 4 months, and you will see an increase in your business for certain. It's just, can you do it consistently?
If this does sound too simple, I'm going to use a quick analogy. Imagine you're getting incredible sleep. Imagine you're hydrating really well, like Kevin is doing right now, every single day. Imagine you are exercising every single day. Imagine you are hitting the right amount of calories, nutrition, every single day. And imagine you are doing mobility and stretching and pliability and foam rolling every single day. If you let that momentum build on those 5 things, that cycle, sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, and mobility, of course you're going to be in shape. If you want your business to be in shape, you have to get exposure consistently to the right people, make meaningful connections with the right people, have meaningful conversations with the right people, find the right solution for the right people so you can solve their problem in exchange for money. And then if they aren't ready, that's okay. Follow up and touch base, because trust me, it's just like this. I didn't need AirPods until after I realized that the old ones that I had a terrible mic, and I was actually on the phone, and I got disconnected because I do phone calls in the car a lot of times, and people can't hear me. It sounds terrible. And so I went and bought the new upgraded AirPods because I was in pain. Remember, people aren't always ready. You go to the doctors when you're sick. Just because someone's not ready right now doesn't mean they won't be ready later. Just because someone isn't starting a podcast right now doesn't mean they're not going to remember us later. Mm-hmm. And all businesses run this way. I am grateful for my AirPods. I'm happy to spend the money at Apple. Apple's products are so good. My phone, I spent $1,000 on this phone. It's an iPhone 12, and I use it every single day. Sales is not sleazy. If you use integrity in your approach, and the very last thing I'll say is this. If you're bad at sales, the truth is, hard truth, but it's true, you're bad at uncomfortable conversations. If you're bad at sales, you're just actually bad at uncomfortable conversations. You're bad at telling the truth. Because if I were talking to you right now and you had a business, I would say, what if you could go to Vegas, put $300 in per month, and you'd make $1,000 back? How often would you play? I said, that's what it will be for me. That I know that I can make you more money than you're going to invest in me. I know that I can help you grow. And in the long term, it'll be way more of an ROI than that, return on investment. So if you're uncomfortable with sales, what you're really uncomfortable with is challenging people. What you're really uncomfortable with is telling the truth about where people might be leaving opportunity on the table. And so we wanted to bring that to you today. Many of you are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, and we're super grateful to have you with us.
And let us know what you think of our Strategy Saturdays. I think ideally in the future we'd probably get into the strategy quicker, but this is the first one and we're trying to figure this out. But I think having a short episode every week that's just like tactics of this is how you get the result that you want, I think that's super important.
For sure.
And sometimes you just need somebody to say like, hey, you can do this. One of my clients said like, I want to monetize my show. And I said, all right, cool, let's do it. And she monetized her show a week and a half later with a one-on-one client. So sometimes it's just somebody saying, oh yeah, what you want to do is possible. This is how you do it. Go try. And then you get the result for yourself and you decide if you like it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode. I always enjoy talking about sales, so one of my favorites for sure.
One day you wouldn't have said that.
I would have.
Way back.
Yeah, no, 2 years ago.
Just so everyone's aware, Kevin not only disliked sales but had a huge aversion to it.
Sure.
Now he runs this sales cycle, turning connections into clients every day.
I love it.
Phenomenal at it, and now he loves it. So just because you dislike it now or it's uncomfortable now doesn't mean it can't be a part of you, and we would not be able to help all of you listening. We do this for free. You're listening to this for free. We couldn't do that if we didn't have clients.
True.
So this isn't possible.
We tried.
We tried for many, many years, and it does not work. So if you don't get good at the sales cycle, just remember, we've come a long way on this, and there's a way to get good at this, even if it is scary now. It was scary riding a bike the first time, but now I bet you're great at it.
Boom. If you want a free call with Alan or I, reach out, and we will literally try to make a meaningful connection. Maybe we won't, straight up, maybe we will not find the right fit. That's okay. There will be value in the call, and that's always the goal anyway. And look, maybe we're not meant to work with you right now. Maybe you're not meant to work with us right now, but you'll never know if we don't talk. We love you. We appreciate you. Our next episode is with the wonderful David Meltzer, who has just been on here on repeat lately because we've had so many awesome conversations with him. We talked to him about the difference between an open mind and a closed mind when it comes to the people in your life, how to figure out which is which, and what to do when you find out. Because obviously you want to spend time with open minds and not closed. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you'll enjoy that. As always, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you soon.